Do you remember the story Red Eye that we did recently? Well, today we will be doing the reference to context questions based on that story. I would really like if you tried to work them out yourselves before looking for the answers in this video because I don't really like the idea of giving you answers directly. I want you to be able to try and do the answers yourselves. I would like to be your guide and help you reach those answers. That's all. For all those who are new here, let me introduce myself. I'm Melaine from English Made Easy. I'm an English teacher, and this channel is dedicated to creating easy and interesting lessons so that you can improve your English in an enjoyable way. If you are one of those viewers who is looking forward to getting help with your English language and literature lessons, you are in the right place. But if you want to get notified each time I post new content, do subscribe to English Made Easy. That way, you will not miss out on any of these lessons. I'm sure you need them all, don't you? So please subscribe. Here's how we're going to do today's lesson. If you have not already watched the videos I did on Red Eye, I urge you to do that first. Here is an easy link to the first part. Please go and watch that first. Then watch the second part. Watch those videos and then return to this one. If you have watched those videos, then I welcome you to today's lesson. In this lesson, I will explain each question to you and help you to work out your answers. So please keep a notebook and a pen ready. After you have worked out your answer, I will give you the answer and you can check the answer you wrote. You can correct whatever you got wrong. All right? Is that fair enough? Yes? Okay, let's proceed then. Red eye, reference to context. So here's what your pages look like. Page 120 has these questions and page 121 has these two questions. So I hope you know what reference to context means. Reference to context simply means that you are referring to context. You are referring to a particular context, a particular part of the lesson. So all the answers that you do, all the questions that are asked are based on that part of the lesson. The questions can have answers related to that part, could be before that part of the line, after that part of the line, but it's all related, all interrelated. So that's how you do reference to context. You are referring to context. Context meaning the that part of the text that is given to you. Now, in question 2, this is the part of the text that is given to you. This one line. So let's read it carefully together. On second thoughts, I said, she might learn a lot from Red Eye. Now, only refer to this particular line. Who said these words in the story? Who said these words? Who is I? B. Whom did she refer to? Who was she talking about when she said she? Who was she talking about? Why did the speaker have second thoughts? What does that mean? That means the speaker first thought something and then changed her mind and thought something else. Now, why did she change her mind? Why did she change what she was thinking? So after you answer these three questions, we'll move on to number 3. And this is the context given to you now. Well, if that snake means so much to you, I guess I'll help you, she said. First question. What was the snake called? That's easy, isn't it? What did it look like? Oh, yeah, there's a big description given about the snake, at least 3 or 4 sentences. So you can find that and write it down. B. Who said these lines? Now, which lines are we talking about? We are referring to a particular context. This context, this line. So, who said these lines? And what help did she offer? She said here, well, if that snake means so much to you, I guess I'll help you. How was she going to help? What help did she offer? And the third one, briefly describe how the speaker succeeded in helping the listener. So, the speaker, the person who's speaking, who's saying these lines, offered to help the listener and actually managed to help the listener. Now, how exactly did she manage to help the listener? Who's the listener? Who's the speaker? First, you have to know that. And then you can tell me how the speaker managed to help the listener. It is a bit of a detailed answer, but try and work it out in your own words. So please take your time, work out these answers in your book, in a rough book, in a notepad, and after you have worked out these answers, then you can play the rest of the video and check if you got the answers right. Please, like I said, I would really appreciate it if you tried to work out the answers on your own first. Don't just play the rest of the video, copy all the answers that I worked out for you, because that is not going to help you in any way. You need to learn how to work out your own answers. You can use my answers to correct your answers. Okay? So, after you have written the answers to all these questions, you can play the rest of the video and check your answers one by one. Here's the first one. So, that was the context given to you. 2. On second thoughts, I said, she might learn a lot from Red Eye. Who said these words in the story? I'm sure you know this one, it's easy. But never write an answer in one word. Write a complete sentence. Start with a capital letter, end with a full stop, like this. Cindy said these words in the story, full stop. In English language and literature, write complete sentences at all times. The next one. The same context, so I've written it again for you to refer to. On second thoughts, I said she might learn a lot from Red Eye. Whom did she refer to? Now, who's this she? Cindy was talking about someone. Who was Cindy talking about? And please write in a complete sentence. Cindy was referring to her sister Emily. Even if you say Cindy was referring to her sister, your answer is right. Even if you say Cindy was referring to Emily, your answer is right. Okay? But don't start your sentence with she, because in general, when you are doing language or literature, it is better to start with a noun, not with a pronoun. You can use a pronoun in the middle of a sentence, but never ever use a pronoun to begin a sentence. Okay? So Cindy was referring, and please look at the spelling of referring, it has a double R there in the center. Cindy was referring to her sister Emily. Here's the third question, the same context. On second thoughts, I said she might learn a lot from Red Eye. Why did the speaker have second thoughts? I explained that question to you. I will do so again. The speaker. Who's the speaker? Cindy. Now, why did Cindy have second thoughts? Meaning, she thought something first and then she changed her mind. Why? Let's see if you can remember what she thought first. Okay, so what she first thought was that she should not take the snake home with her. Why? Because her sister was afraid of snakes, if you remember. Emily was scared of snakes. So Cindy first thought that she should not take Red Eye or not take the snake home with her. But then she had second thoughts. She changed her thought. She changed the way she was thinking. And now what did she think? Now she thought that she should take the snake home. Why? Because she had thought about all the mean things that Emily had done to her, like how Emily reported her for using her hairbrush on the dog, for example. Remember that? So she thought of all those things and now she changed her mind and she had second thoughts and she decided that she should take Red Eye home so that Emily would watch Red Eye and probably learn a lot from the snake. So here's how you put that down in writing. Initially, that means in the beginning, Cindy did not want to take the snake home because she knew that Emily hated snakes. However, after giving it some thought, she decided to take the snake home as she realized that Emily might learn a lot from it. All right, let's move on to number three. Here's the context. Well, if that snake means so much to you, I guess I'll help you, she said. The first question: what was the snake called? What did it look like? What was the snake called is such an easy answer. And what did it look like? Make sure you include all the points. That would make your answer precise. So let's see if you got it right. The snake was called Red Eye. And when you write the name of the snake, put it in single inverted commas like that. And because it is the name of the snake, you have to have a capital R and a capital E. So Red Eye in single inverted comma. The snake was called Red Eye, full stop. And now the description of the snake. It was as long as Cindy's arm. I'm sorry, there's a mistake. They're not Condis. You know that, right? It's Cindy, Cindy. It was as long as Cindy's arm. It had three pale stripes and orange dots on its body. There were beautiful little blue slashes on its head. It had red eyes. Now you have to be careful to include every point that is given to you in the text. I'll tell you why. If this was a test or an exam and you were expected to answer this question, you would have marks based on each point. For example, 1 mark for this, another one for this, that's 2, another for this, 3, another for this, 4, another for this, 5, another for this, 6. So this kind of a question can easily carry 6 marks. So if you leave out 1 point, and even if the rest of your answer is near perfect, you cannot expect to get 6 marks. If you leave out 2 points, you cannot expect to get 6 marks. Your teacher will mark you out of 4. So the maximum marks you could possibly get would be 4. Hence, like I always say, if you want to do well in English literature, you need to read the text over and over and over, several times. Read it aloud to yourself, read it softly in your mind, but keep reading because the more you read, the more you remember the text. And you have to remember the text if you are going to include every single point and get your marks. Otherwise, you cannot do well in English literature. Let's move on. The same context. Well, if that snake means so much to you, I guess I'll help you, she said. Who said these lines? And what help did she offer? Who said the lines? How did she offer to help? Let's see. Emily said these words, Cindy's sister Emily, and Emily offered to help Cindy look for her snake, Red Eye. Okay? C. Well, if that snake means so much to you, I guess I'll help you, she said. Briefly describe how the speaker succeeded in helping the listener. So, how exactly did the speaker help the listener? Who's the speaker? Emily. Who's the listener? Cindy. Now, you know what the problem was? The problem was that Red Eye was missing. And how did the speaker help the listener? How did Emily help Cindy? She helped to look for the snake, but she finally managed to find the snake. Where did Emily find the snake? In the bathroom closet. Do you remember? So here's how you write the answer down. It's a bit of a lengthy answer. You can write it in your own words, but make sure you include all the points. Emily had opened the closet door in the bathroom and found Red Eye snuggled among the towels. It saw Emily and started moving, so Emily knew that she had to get hold of it fast. She picked it up in the towel and ran towards her parents and Cindy, screaming on top of her voice. Despite being so scared of snakes, she managed to help Cindy to get it back into the old fish tank. All right, like I said, it's quite long, but you can write the answer in your own words and make sure you include all the points. Okay, so did you manage to get the answers right on your own? Did you find this lesson useful? If you did, do hit that like button and share the lesson with any of your friends who you think might benefit from it. Do you know of anyone who might also need these answers? If you do, please send them this lesson. You know the best way to do well in English literature. Sorry if I am repeating it over and over again, but you must read the text over and over again until you know the facts very well. So please keep doing that. It is not advisable to try and learn questions and answers by heart. In fact, I never ever give my students the same questions for their tests and exams. They have to read the text and they have to read the text very well in order to be able to answer any question that I may ask them. So I would like you to do the same. Please keep reading, read and read and read. I hope to meet you again in the next lesson. Until we meet again, bye.